couple of things. The first is we don't ever need to hear about you doing other interviews. It does feel a bit wrong. So
It's hurtful.
that's hurtful.
Isn't it?
It's
I'm sorry,
hurtful.
boys. I'm sorry.
I feel cheated on just a little bit. But the second thing is we have been saying all the way through this, if anyone, like when the first lot of submissions went through 23,000, the first round, and there was 76 that were in supporting it, if there's 150,000, you know, they might be upwards of 500 individual supporting ones now if the numbers were to stay the same. But Luxon, if nothing else, I think will acknowledge and recognize public opinion. I don't think he's a good politician. I don't think any of us think he's a particularly good politician, but I think even he's not dumb enough to go, if let's say 70% of respondents are against this, 20% are unclear and 10% are for it, you don't take that into a 1 year out from an election. So it will be really interesting to see what happens once those numbers come out. And I like it that you say that they're still going through them. And I was wondering, is that like they print them out and they put them into the shredder? Is that about as much going through them as they're doing at the moment? But yeah, I mean, well, I think you can trust him to be a bad politician, which means you can trust him to have no backbone, trust him to have no spine. So you can trust him that if a massive groundswell, pardon the pun, massive tsunami wave of don't do this is put in front of him, his spinelessness might work in our favor. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, that was one of the reasons why we went so hard in the campaign to get people to make submissions, because we know these politicians don't care about anything except for the numbers. So even though, David Seymour's come out and even James Mager came out and said, the select committee process isn't for people to make one-line submissions, I don't accept that at all. If people only have the capacity to say we oppose this bill, and that's all that they have either the time to do because they're too busy trying to put bloody food on the table, or because they don't have the ability to express themselves any further than we just know we don't like it and that's all we want to say. Well, who are they to deny people having their say in the democratic process? I just find that whole idea and concept that these politicians are saying people's opinions who got off their butts and made a submission doesn't count. I find that very disrespectful. And I also find it really, for me anyway, in this day and age when people really are struggling just to survive, for them to go that far and to, participate in a process like this is a massive thing for people to do. So I think there are so many things playing out within this little microcosm of this particular bill that just say a lot about where New Zealand politics is as a whole. And I agree with you. I think that National is starting to understand this isn't a one-off. The Treaty Principles Bill wasn't a one-off. Us being able to mobilize massive numbers and massive amounts of people, it isn't a one-off. And people are following us because they believe in what we are doing and because they're sick of the BS that the politicians are feeding them and they want something different. And if the politicians don't wake up in time for the next election, that's fine because the people will start using their voice with their votes.